We will never forget 2020. There's no question about it. And as the Surgeon General is trying to prepare us for what he says could be our 9/11, our Pearl Harbor, our witnessing of many more deaths and hospitalizations and illnesses, we do keep seeing glimmers of hope. We do keep seeing little tiny sparks of good news. Spain, Italy starting to see cases decrease. Even here in the United States, New York having a decrease. Now, we'll know more today. Governor Cuomo cautioned against this 24-hour period over the weekend where the hospitalizations were literally cut in half and they had a death rate that was lower. You know, it's so funny to kind of assume that they know exactly how this is all going to play out. None of them do. Zero. Zilch. The experts don't know, the politicians don't know, the governors don't know, the mayors don't know, the president doesn't know. You expect the worst and you hope and pray for the best. How do you predict this silent killer? How do you predict where it's going to go? How do you know when you start taking draconian moves, these over the top, shut down the country? How do you know when the right time is to do that? And on the flip side, we better be prepared because the next big decision is going to be when to open the country up. And I can promise you that will be met with howls of protest from the other side. If you think politicizing an anti-malaria drug was stunningly insane, if you think that was a big deal, wait till they're faced with trying to make a decision about when to open up the country again and let people go back to work. Because here's the catch-22 for President Trump. We're going to have cases. This is not just going to be eradicated. It's not going to evaporate like a rainstorm where it's going to stop raining and there's no rain left. There will be people who will still be exposed and potentially positive and hospitalized. Maybe some will be dying. And we're going to be at that point where we can't sustain this any longer. And it's a point I raised weeks ago. When I raised it, boy, a reporter called me right away. What are you trying to say? That we're trading lives for Wall Street? And of course I wasn't saying that. Human health and life has to be tantamount. That's our priority. But we can't be this way forever. And it seems that, believe me, no matter what the president and his team decide, no matter what they say, it's going to be met with rage. Rage. They're already ginning up their anger. They're blaming all of this on Trump. It's his fault. You know, if anybody's listening to me right now who says that Trump failed to act quickly enough, I'm going to give you yet another interview that was located that they found. And one thing about these interviews, they find past interviews. Anthony Fauci has emerged as a very important voice and expert on this. He's the head of the NIH. He's important. He was on Greg Kelly's show, Cut Number 7. This was a show on Newsmax TV. And his comments, he makes these comments to the public. This is, of course, what the president hears. So keep this in mind. This was shared by Brit Hume on Fox News. This was a January 21st interview. Now, this thing was, according to the Trump haters, this was really while the ball was rolling. We knew it was coming. He knew. January 20th, 21st rather, we already knew what happened in Wuhan. People in China were traveling here. We were going to be decimated. Trump didn't do anything. He was playing golf. He didn't protect the American people. Orange man bad, orange man bad, orange man bad. I give you Dr. Fauci on Greg Kelly's show, January 21st, Newsmax TV. Listen to this.
Bottom line, we don't have to worry about this one, right?
Well, obviously you need to take it seriously and do the kinds of things that the CDC and the Department of Homeland Security are doing. But this is not a major threat for the people in the United States, and this is not something that the citizens of the United States right now should be worried about.
Why don't the Trump critics say one word of criticism for Anthony Fauci? Why don't they ever say that on January, that's just a little over 2 months ago. That was well after this thing was supposedly, that was the week that Trump issued the travel ban from China. So they knew something was brewing, but the head guy, the man who has served as the director of the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Diseases since 1984, is telling us on January 21st, this is not something that we should be worried about. It's not a major threat. This is the guy who President Trump, among others, was listening to. So I think it's very clear, crystal clear. You cannot lay this all at Trump's doorstep. Have there been mistakes made? You bet. There have been mistakes made on the state level, the federal level, with testing, the CDC, World Health Organization. I don't trust them with their relationship, with regards to their relationship with China. This whole thing is a mess, and we know it. How about we just acknowledge that this thing caught the world by surprise, and now let's try to get better, and let's recover, and let's save lives, and let's get the country open again. How about that? Is that a stretch? Is that a stretch for you? Why doesn't anybody point out Fauci or de Blasio or the health commissioner of New York saying in January, February, Pelosi, oh, go on out, go to Chinatown, go out to eat, go have a good time. I'm tired of this. Knock it off. Stop politicizing the timeline of this thing. President Trump surely did not want this to happen to the American people. He sure as heck doesn't like what it did to the economy. 1-800-655-MIKE. Welcome. We made it. This is a big week. It is Monday, April 6th, 2020. We're in the ReliefFactor.com mobile studios because we're back smack dab in my kitchen, working from home like you probably are.